When we start any drawing, you still need to plan where is going to be the location, how big the subject matter will be, what is the focal point, how you're going to make the whole artwork look interesting. And the same thing as what we are drawing using the bark plates as a reference. It's just very much the same. You're still going to plan it, see it, how you're going to make it look interesting. And then come back to do the measurement. The measurements always helpful and always necessary for every artworks, but even though everybody doing it slightly bit different, however, their critical thinking part is still very important, and at the same time as your creative decision making is also very important through the whole process. Today I'm probably going to do a little bit different. I don't want to just use the graphite all the way from the beginning to the end of this. Probably going to use the graphite, draw, do all the measurement, the planning first, and then I'm going to use a box of soft pastel. I'm going to move the envelope off a little bit to the right side. The left side edge over here, and the right side over here. So it looks like I get a better balance this way. So let's draw that. I'm using a 2B graphite pencil here. I'm going to use a ruler. So we always should think about the biggest shape, the biggest container. Okay, the biggest container over here. So we don't have background for this drawing. If you have a background, and then you're also thinking about the relationship between the background and the main object. Right here, there's only one main object. So draw the container. Yeah. Then we also call a container as envelope. So like we are putting the whole thing into a rectangular shape. Put it in and ship it like that. So you can see for the container here, on the left side have a little bit more space than the right side. The right side have a little bit less because the angle and the shape, the overall shape of this, and moving a little bit more, a little bit heavier on the right side. So we move it a little bit off to the right side, so leave a little bit more white space on the left. So in this case, you also can do very much the same. Like say, roughly first, because we do one to one ratio drawing. So I'm gonna take this as a measurement. All right, I'm gonna put it over here. Now I'm gonna see where I'm going to locate. I'm going to move it a little bit left, a little bit right. So you need to decide on that. It's similar to like you're going to do a portrait drawing without background. So now I'm going to have the location of the big shape right over there. So the process of drawing and painting, no matter what you do, try to cut it down in the smaller step. And also start from the biggest, most critical, that everything is going to base on that decision, right? If you make a decision like this, everything is going to build up on top of this. In that case, you better do it a little bit more seriously, right? So if you make the wrong decisions, there's no such wrong decision, but a different decision that you really want. And in that case, it ended up not really what you like. So I'm also going to put it back over here. I'm going to also put a mark on the right hand side. And I'm going to put it up here. So it's going to be the same as from a line to the side of the page. So I'm going to put it here. If you're not speaking, I would like you to mute your microphone because I don't mute it on my side. If you are saying something, I want to record what you're saying as part of the video. So if you don't want the noises is just muted. So when you need to talk, and then everyone can hear it. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna come back over here. Now I'm gonna move it up here. Now I'm gonna, because I also measure the left margin. So I move it up here so it would make sure it is vertical. Okay, like this. Now that's good. Now I have 2 points, so I can draw the box. Okay. 1, and so very much with this series of study, we are focused on the process of drawing. And now on this side, I can extend it from the left side all the way to the right, like this. Here you go. And I also want to measure the height. Now here you go. We have the height. Move it over here. Now we find the top. That's good. So we just successfully transfer the envelope from the reference onto our drawing paper. Now we can see the negative shape inside the envelope. So we can see there's a triangle over here. You can transfer over. You see that the triangle, right? And also you can see there's a negative shape over here. Negative shape is very important. So we can find that it's from here to here, how much space between the outside of the dark shape to the envelope. So the envelope becomes something that you can easier to compare and transfer over. So and now we're gonna find some key points. So help us to do it a little bit easier. Like say the touching point over here, and this would help us to locate it. And the vertical line over here extended and coming to the bottom, we're gonna find the space from the left side of the envelope and to the line over here. That's pretty easy. And we're gonna find the touching point over here. We're gonna find the touching point over here based on the compare the ratio proportion on the top line, right? Those are very easy. And also we can find, say, okay, about this turning point over here. And what, from here to here, it looks like the same level. I'm not sure. So those things where you would, this kind of exercise will help you to come up a new way to measure it. So we're gonna take a look, compare the left side and right side. Not exactly. Actually, this side is a little bit lower. This side is a little bit higher, right? So this is good. We're gonna find it, and we're gonna find this touching point over here, and looks like this would be a little bit less than half from here to the bottom. So okay, so we have something we can start transfer over. So it's just like when you're looking at the proportion. Most of the people, they confuse with their measurement, and they start their small measurements right from the beginning, and feeling a little bit really stressful, because you don't really need to, because it's supposed to be very easy and simple, and just do it one step at a time, and the steps is very important. Okay, now let's start it. And I'm having a little stick that's being a little bit more flexible, so if I don't need the mark already used, and I would just erase it with a nitty eraser. And now I'm gonna very easily transfer this point. It's very easy because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm gonna put the mark over here. Okay, I can do it much faster. And then from here to here, to here, let's find a point. Then here you go. Find a point over here. And then from here to here, oh my God, it's very much the same as that point. But here a little bit off. So it's right over here. Like that. And then we can find this point, maybe from the bottom up. It's easier. Gets a little closer. So we're gonna find that. Right at this point. Okay. Also, we can find the left side over here. Right over here. And put it right here. Here you go. So this is the line. Okay. We also can find the bottom over here. If it's not really 1-to-1 ratio, and you will have to figure it out the proportion what ratio if like you have to compare from the big shape to the smaller shape. Compare. Oh, this is like it's actually like 1/6 of the whole width. This is how you're gonna figure it out. And then over here, the size is a little bit different from the original objects. Like say this would be like a 2.5 bigger, 2.5 times of the original. In that case, it would be easier just do the ratio. Like say, oh, this is 1/6, and then you divide this into 6 proportions, and then take the 1/6 is that. But we're gonna talk about more into a little bit more complicated math a little bit later. In the near future. Okay, this is good. And also we can measure the width over here. Sometimes you maybe think that it's just too easy. I'm a lot more advanced than that, but it's like everyone still, yeah. No matter how good a runner is, once in a while we still walk, right? So it doesn't matter that you can jump, okay, walk still a good relaxing exercise. Okay, now we're gonna do a little rough drawing from here, okay? That looks like this is the point. I'm gonna actually use the pencil, do it over here, like that, and transfer over right here. So I'm gonna draw that roughly. This is the cutting point, like that. I'm looking at the negative shape on the outside of this, and coming in a little bit, and we're gonna double check after we draw roughly. And then on this side, I'm gonna just draw roughly. It's about like this, right? So focus on this shape. And then coming up, it's very much, I'm gonna all the way coming up here, like this. Make a little straight line. Like that, straight line first. And then on this side, it looks like there's an angle. Now focus on this straight line. And coming on this side, maybe a little bit of this angle. So the angular measurements is also important, so think about that. And from here all the way coming on this point, looks like it will be here. I'm not sure, we're gonna double check on that. So first get the big impression. And coming in a little bit, and then here you go. I'm gonna all the way have it coming to So those key points is serving very well to relate to the whole shape. And then coming over here and this point, and then coming this angle this much and coming down. And let's take a look at the side over here. It's about this much. So from here, and then make a little point. Now here you go, like that. And then it's about a little bit higher, okay, from here. Now just think about this line, this section from here all the way here, and then this is about a 1/4 inch higher, maybe 3/8, and gonna be connected to the bottom. So this is probably the curve coming a little bit more slowly, like that. So now we already know the top over here, and that's the line coming over there. Now you see, we roughly already getting the big shape, and there, like that, right? Now we need to come into double check. Double check is a very important step. In between those steps, it's very important. So you always think about, is that really? Can I double check on that? And it's very important. And let's see, we're gonna double check on this point. It's very important. So I'm going to take a look at from here to the top of the envelope. I'm gonna put it over here to double check on that. Now making sure it's a little clear. And you can also do a little, I think the edge over here is already right. So this is as much as going to the left. So measure that. And we're going to also do a little cross measuring. So always thinking about, what about the other way to measure it, like that. And how about from here to here, what is this, how far is this point? Right, with this, I'm gonna find this point, and I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna find that, and also find the angle. So I have 2 different sticks, right? I'm gonna put it right here, so we can see that's the angle. I'm gonna put this over here, and I already measure the distance. So I'm gonna put in the same parallel angle. Now I'm gonna find it, this angle, and then like this, coming on this side, and here you go. Now I find this point with the same angle, same distance. And we can do something else as well. Like say, we are going to find, how about this point? And the first, I'm going to measure. Just keep thinking about the measurement. It's very important for the proportion. And let's take it over here. Let's one side, we're going to take it from here down. It looks like this need to be a little bit lower, right? So that's good. And also, and I'm going to also measure from here to here, from this angle, because this is already known. We already measured this, right? So this is important. From here to here, we're gonna put that. That is, and then I'm gonna put this stick over here. I'm gonna have the angle. That's combine comparative and angular measurement at the same time. Now I'm gonna put it the same parallel angle, and from here, right, and coming over here. That's the angle. That is as much. So we just double check what we did earlier is the same. right? It's correct already. It's good to know that it's already done. It was already good, already good enough. And from here is very much you can go into the smaller proportion. It can get smaller and smaller. Like I say, where's this point? That's easy because you already know this is already correct. In that case, from here to here, you just need to find the angle, right? Find the angle and take the proportion. I'm gonna take this, and with this angle, I'm gonna put over here, right there, like this, and right there. Now we just double check is roughly it's already correct, like over there. That's good, right? Those are not hard. Like from here and coming to this point, we already check, and we can double check on that. I'm gonna take it from, say, if we extend this line, cut onto this much. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to move it over here like that. So it's already correct. So you maybe have something off at the beginning of this process. If when you do it more and more, your sensitivities of seeing the line, the angle, the proportion would be much better and better and better and better. So in that case, it will be less and less this kind of technical measurement because you already got it right. You look at it, you already know the proportion, right? Okay, now the next step, we're going to draw the outside line first, okay? And let's do a little bit step by step, draw the contour line, okay? Let's say we're gonna start from this point. In that case, we're gonna look at only this much. So, look and draw. One little area at a time. You can use your hand to guide yourself, not going too fast. That's good, right? A little bit moving, coming down over here, like that. Okay, this probably need to be smoother. Okay, a little bit smoother. Like that. That's good, right? We got that one good proportion. And I'm not sure what's this point. In that case, okay, let's come back to measure it. I'm gonna use the bottom of the envelope as a reference. I'm gonna take it over here, take it up like this. Oh, that's good. Now it's right over here. That's good. Now I'm going to continue moving toward this point, a little curve, right? We're going to extend that, continue up here, but we're going to be doing that a little bit next because those are considered a little bit smaller area. Now let's figure out the outside contour. Now I'm going to a little bit slowly, a little inch at a time. Good. Now I'm gonna continue. Here you go. Connect it and continue a little bit lower. A little bit lower, like that. Now, this looks like a very straight line at the bottom. Let's draw the bottom line. And going up a little bit, slowly, like that. So it looks like there's a very skinny triangle going up like this on this point. But we don't know that between the light side and the shadow side. The light side and the shadow side consider a smaller shape after the big shape. We try to figure out the big shape, right? Okay, let's come back over here on the top. Here you go. A little curve, and that's good. And over here, little curve. Look at it, and it looks like I just missed the point. So as I compare the distance from here, let's say I'm gonna find this point. Like that. I'm gonna move it over here. That's the distance. And the top is about a little bit lower, right over here. So this is the corner. Right? So find the key point and then divide it. Like from here, it looks like this need to come up a little bit and then connect to that. So the curve end is right in the middle. From here and then coming down, and then you can draw a little bit softly to get the idea first. So that's good. Now from here, now I'm gonna almost like a straight line, just a little bit slightly curve. Now connect to that point. That's just good. And I will come back on this side. Like this, a little start of the curve and coming down. We already have something that we can compare to. That is the point right over there. And then a little bit, look at the angle of this small portion and then start curving. So if you want to double check on this a little proportion compared to the whole shape over here, you can do the smaller measurement. So from here, I can coming down, all the way coming here to reach this known point. So I'm gonna have a little bit curve like that. It's always helpful. You start looking at a straight line before looking at a curved line. The curved line, you can turn a little bit off to the left side or a little bit off to the right side. You almost like cannot really see it. But when you see the bigger proportion like that, you first have to at least, you can find this is correct. So you can find this angular measurement is correct. So let's draw this 2 points together. Now you can see the negative shape inside of this area, right? So this, I already drew it a little bit too much inside. So I'm gonna need to come a little bit smoother. Now looking at the negative shape. Now got it. So I can remove the skyline. Now coming on this side, now we already know, we're gonna figure it out. This would be the point and the inside over here. So a little curve.
I appreciate seeing that you have some difficulty with how deep a curve should be. I seem to have the most trouble with that. My curves are usually too deep.
Yeah, because the curve sometimes misleading you. So you have to like see that as a straight line first, because you could be like because as I earlier said, is a little bit off left, a little bit off right. You won't be able to see it because the curve as a make you to focus on a too smaller area, like between this and this. But when the angle coming on this way or this way, it's become very similar. So sometimes undetectable when you're looking at a smaller area. So you have to jump out from that a little trap and get a little bit bigger connection, seeing that bigger relationship. So you have always like looking for where's the next destination. You cannot be just play by ear all the time. So we find this, we find this point already, and I think we can find this point from the proportion, like that. So you can coming from here to here, and then from this point, and come toward this point. So if you make a mistake, so only within this point, because this point already correct, this point already correct. So it's very easy to make the bigger, the whole portrait, it will be mostly look like the person that we're going to draw. So we can also find this point, for example, and this much coming down like this. So we can make a little curve like that. Here you go. Now we can finish this portion. All right, now let's continue to finish the whole contour. Now I'm gonna do a little bit slowly and then take a look at what is this point. This point is right here. And if you need to find the proportion on the right side between the right edge of the envelope, and you can do the measurement from here to coming almost like a straight line like this. And we already know the edge on this side. And then we're going to draw slowly, finish the bottom. Now we just finish the whole contour. Now from the contour is correct when you come back over here to give a little bit more definition. It's good. Like that. You need to have patience. Not only doctor needs some. Okay, we all need. Okay, now we're gonna, from this point, we can connect that all the way coming here. We're gonna find out where is from this point. Let's see, what are the important key point? I'm gonna over here. Who is still noises? Okay, here. We're gonna find maybe from the left side to the right side. I'm gonna put it right here. Then we're gonna find it's about a little bit higher than this location. And I'm gonna put it right over here. Now you can see the location right over there. And then take a look at the bottom, the point over here. Where is it? I'm gonna put this mark a little bit higher than this point. Here you go. Like that. And we can also find it with two pointing from two reference. Here you go. Now we can find exactly the location of this corner. Like that. And from here, I'm also going to find, see, we're going to force it. This have transition, but we force it like this. I'm going to find it from the left to the right. Right here. So that means it's going to coming this way. And because we know this point and we know this point, so we can draw focus on the comparing. Like I said, this, I think more like this. This a little bit higher, like that. Here you go. Now we find this divide this between the light side and the shadow side. Okay, now we can see this the point over here, and I'm gonna find out where is this. I'm gonna put a point over there. I'm gonna define it, and here you go. It looks like a very tedious measurement, but it's necessary, and you're gonna have your own way of finding things. Now I'm gonna put this point over here. So this would be the same, should be the same location. So say something.
When you have a shadow that's not clearly defined, I look at the bottom of the heel, and it's very soft on the edge.
You
How
talk
do
about
you?
here? We're not talking about there
No,
yet.
no, no, no. The heel of the foot.
Over here?
A little bit to your right and down.
Okay, on this side?
Okay. Yes.
What
Yes. Okay.
the
How do you?
what you have to force it. This is you just missed what I said earlier. You see that? I forced the line over here. This is
I'm sorry.
there's a little
Thank
bit
you.
solid. And coming in over here, see the solid area. When you draw the pencil line over here, you can see this side is very much similar. It's a flat shape. And on the other side, have a little bit transition. I ignore the transition at this point.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You just have to force yourself to ignore the transition. And like now I just draw the another reference line. Now I'm only looking at this side, this much. Okay, from here I'm gonna draw a little angle this way, and then a little angle coming this way, and then you see that now very often that we could just get lost because looking at, oh my god, that is, I cannot really tell. Okay, force yourself like that. I very much like a straight line like this, all straight line. Can you find this shape, right? Similar to that. And if this is correct, and we're not going to come to define it yet. I'm going to have this coming up this angle, actually meet this point. So you can find this is called angular measurement. I'm going to find this. That's the angle. I'm going to from here get the same angle coming up like this. See that? You can find this relation. And then also you can see from here coming up, it's almost find this relation like that. By using this simple drawing, you actually can enjoy the process and also at the same time learn lots of measurement technique. There's not one way to do measurements. You can do with all different, there's a different technique. I'm going to draw this line first. I can find this line would be useful. I already have this line. And then from here, I can see the distance. You see this shape, distance over here. And then find the width of the other side, like that. And then within this shape, you can also cut it into a smaller shape, like that. There's a triangle over here. You see a triangle? Right? Like that. Okay, from here coming up, on this side, you can find a smaller shape. Now I'm gonna really force yourself seeing this shape. I want you to be able to see this. See that? It's kind of like you force your mind to see the shapes. So create the idea of flat shape. Even though when you look at your model, look at your reference, look at your setup, there's no such thing as perfect flat shape, but you force it. Now when I'm drawing this, I focus on the width of this piece of shape, okay, like that. And then I'm going to looking at this coming up directly and see how long they're supposed to be. And that thing I can compare. I say should draw a guideline over here too. So it kind of like it looks the same. Okay, coming up this way, the same angle, And then you can see how far from this skyline. So it's about this much, right? Coming down over here. And then coming up like that to find that small shape. So now from here, we can draw coming up a little bit, about ½ inch. And then from here is a straight line. And then here, you can come down here and then the straight line. You see that? So you need to force your mind to see as a coming down here with the angle going toward the left side. And then come straight down here. And then let's see, I might need to, I need to move it a little bit more to the left. Let's just compare this area, right? So you need to come in a little bit more toward the left. That's why it looks this angle going too fast. So that's good. Compare, compare, compare. Learn the fundamental, and then we can come back to draw a little bit more complicated. And let's see. If you're feeling something is not right, in that case, find a reason. I think this triangle a little bit too thick, and it come in a little bit. You see, this will be a triangle, like that. And now I come here, it's almost like a half, a little bit more than half on this side. And a little connect to on this side, like that. Here you go. And we just find the complicated proportion of the, divide this like a half of the whole width over here. So let's do a double check. So we always need to jump out from the smaller proportion. We're gonna find out where is this point from the left envelope. You see that after we draw the rectangular shape we call envelope, we use it as a reference to find out the inside. So I'm gonna find over here, where did we talk about? And it's say the inside and the right side. Okay, just don't forget it. And I'm gonna measure this. Yeah, you're very much right. You need to move it a little bit more toward the left. A little bit more. That's perfect. Okay, so always double check, and don't just let it. I'm gonna find this line, this angle. First, I'm gonna see as a straight line. See the straight line, and then we modify from that. So we're gonna find where's this point. Here you go. It's about a little bit higher, this much higher, okay. And I'm gonna find this point. That's good. Now that means I can draw a straight line from here to here. You see that? As you divided your task into smaller, and then it's just easier for you for your mind to think about things. Now I'm going to draw a straight line over here, and let's find out where it started over here, like that. And now I can, based on this, I'm going to modify it a little bit, coming in a little bit, and then smoothly connect to this point. And you get it. Now I can release the straight guideline. Right? Are you still following? Okay. So now you can draw the thickness of this soft. That's a soft triangle. That's it. And we can find, I'm going to soften this shape. Now I'm going to spend a little time in here. Just focus on this a little area. Here you go. Now I can find slowly. If it's not really correct, come back to redraw it. Now I'm gonna coming into here. I need to make it a little bit softer, not so straight. And I'm gonna come a little bit in over here and then coming down. And on this side, it's the same. A little curve over here, a little curve, and then coming here. Now we get it. And also this area actually a little bit darker than the upside, the other shape connecting to. So you can see it like this. Right. It's very much there, and you need a little bit more time to draw it correctly. I think this a little bit more slower, like that. A little slower. That's good. Now it's much better. And I saw some members posted on Discord, and they make their corner a little bit over sharp, a little bit too sharp. So okay, sometimes you need to, when you're looking at a smaller area, it just need to looking at, oh, that's a smaller area, and how that's curved, and making sure you get it correct, right? So now I can see between this shape and the bottom over here, and it should be right about this much. So I can divide this and look like also straight, like coming up a little bit, and then you see how much between this point and this point is about 1/4 inch. So in that case, a 1/4 inch, about this much. Now I can draw a little bit smoothly coming in. So we find the negative shape like that. And now we can double check on. I think this is very much the same height, but I think it should be up a little bit over here. Like that. That's good. Now we can force ourselves to see, I'm gonna force this. This should become the one value shape, and then have some smaller, have some softer value on this side, right? So force yourself to do that. Okay, when you get to this point, I think all the measurements is already done, right? It's very simple. Now I can softly make those guidelines a little bit softer, like that. Okay, now we can go ahead to finish this drawing. Now what I want to do, I'm going to use this box of half-size soft pastel instead. So I want you to make your mind a little bit more relaxing. So what color we're gonna choose? How about we're gonna use a little brown color? So we can use, say, this a little light yellow-brown color. We're gonna use a little darker brown color. So, okay, you can use graphite pencil, you can use charcoal to shade. That's simple. That I can just putting the color in here, right? This is darker color. Focus on the flash shape. I know with the pastel, we're a little bit more challenged because you cannot really see the tip. But since I started, I'm gonna finish it. Okay.
I'm sorry, you're using brown, not black, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You can use green if you want. Well, it seems like a little difficult because I just cannot get it accurate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my mind. Okay. Gonna gonna have this color. Also the brown color, but it's a pencil. It's a pastel pencil. Okay, now it would be easier. Okay, now I'm gonna continue. Here you go. On this side, a little bit thicker. Okay, that's good. A little curve, but I want to get this curve a little bit. That's good, a little bit clear, like that. And that's good. And then I'm gonna go a little bit faster. I think this can come in a little bit, but just erase it. And then, here you go, a little curved line. Okay, I'm gonna fill in the value. That's good. And then continue on this side. Okay, still seeing well. Now I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna see the curve line in this shape, a little bit like this. Earlier we forced it to straight shape. Now, here you go. In the near future, we're also going to use other medium to study. We could use watercolor to shade, maybe even easier. And we can also use acrylics or other things that we have not experienced with this kind of drawing. Okay, here you go. Don't worry about that it's smooth or not. Okay, just putting the value in. Putting the value in over here. Like that. And a little bit off, a little bit softer. Like that. And then we come over here with this also pretty dark. Okay, that's good. And this is a little bit shaded a little bit like this. And on this side is a little bit shade. A little bit. It's not very dark. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to use a blender. And some members ask me, how are you going to clean the blender? Can you sharpen it? You don't really need to sharpen it. Just use the sandpaper. So in this case, you actually can clean it. And if you need to take off the top layer, here you go. Now it's just very clean. You don't want to use water to wash it. Okay, now it's good. Now I'm coming over here to make it a little bit smoother. That's good. Most of the time I use my finger better. Like that. And then softly coming in here. Now also blend it into this side of the shape. And then coming over here, that's good. Use a finger, you can control how much pressure that you want to give it. I'm gonna put it. Like that. Okay, now I use my eraser to clean up the edge. Pretty easy. So if you get the proportion, the measurement correctly, the rest will become just fun. Right. I think this too dark, so I'm gonna light up a little bit. Like that. Use a bending stone can apply a lighter value. Because of the powder, it's very easy to blend it. Like I'm also going to have a little soft value at the edge over here. Now you can look into a smaller and smaller shape. Like outside over here, have a little bit soft. Yes, you go. Soft transition. How much is the soft transition? I'll come back here to make this a little bit lighter. I think it's a little bit too dark. That's good. Also here, a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna clean up the inside over here. Like that. Now this exercise is getting to the end. I'm gonna have this a little bit value and coming in over here. That's just too dark. I'm gonna come in to make it a little bit lighter. Any questions? Also, I'm gonna have this a little bit more softer. I'm gonna use a clean finger. Just blend it over here.
I used oil pastels, and they were a little harder to make an even covering.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would not suggest oil pastel for this kind of exercise. Oil pastel is more like a little bit more abstract painting, and soft pastel probably okay. Soft pastel pencil probably appropriate. What I just used. Okay, like that. I need to
Next.
looking into inside over here, and this a little bit sharper. So I'm gonna make the a little bit higher contrast in the inside over here. Like that. So I'm gonna leave it like this for this exercise. The main critical part is the measurement.
Yeah, I mean, it takes me a lot longer than you, so I didn't want to start my shading until I've had time to check all
Yeah.
key points and angles, you know. So it's nice to it online live. I like it.
If you use a watercolor paper to draw, and then you can use watercolor actually to shade it even faster. Now I'm gonna looking into inside over here. I think this need to be a little bit solid, like that. And outside here a little bit sharper.